Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're well. So today, what we're going to do is that we're going to be looking at map skills, and particularly in grade 5, and we're going to learn about map skills according to what CAPS has to say. So let us look at the topics that we need to cover. Firstly, we're going to talk about world map and compass direction. Secondly, we're going to talk about the physical map of Africa, where we are going to show how Africa looked like and some of the physical features when it comes to Africa. And thirdly, we will cover Africa, our continent, when it comes to oceans, countries, and other main cities like capitals and all of that. And we're going to see some of the images of South Africa, like landscapes and some of the famous places that you would find in Africa. So let us continue. So in terms of the first topic that needs to be covered according to CAPS, we are going to learn about world map and compass direction. You'll find it on page 25. What it says is that we need to cover the position of the equator and where the North and South poles are. We will cover the North Pole. Is what you have to know is that the North Pole is the upper part of the Earth, whereas the South is the lower part of the Earth, where South Africa, according to what you can see on this wonderful picture here, you'll see that South Africa is part of the South Pole. Secondly, we need to cover this. We need to cover names of the eight-point compass. Sorry. So the 8-point compass consists out of the following. They consist out of the northeast, because in grade 5, what you have learned is that they learn only north, west, south, and east. But in grade 5, they'll learn northeast, which is the northern east halfway. Northwest is the halfway between northeast and northwest. Southeast is halfway of south and east, and southwest is the halfway between south and west, which is 22.7 degrees, 22.5 degrees, sorry, when we differentiate them. So the third topic that needs to be covered is that names of continents. There are 7 continents: Europe, Asia, Africa, South and North and Southern America, Australia, and Antarctica. So, secondly, the second topic that needs to be covered is that Africa, our continent. So when it comes to Africa, our continent, sorry about that, where Africa is on the map, and Africa is located on the equator. Remember that the equator on the Earth is the invisible line on the middle of the planet. So another one is that we're going to look at oceans and their locations. Particularly, we're going to look at Atlantic Ocean. Some of the oceans that are in South Africa that you can see, or in Africa, is that you look at the Atlantic Ocean that is on the left of Africa, and the Indian Ocean that is on the right of Africa. And the third one is that you look at the names of countries in Africa and its borders. Remember that borders are lines that separate countries, and some of the names of the countries, as you can see, South Africa is part of them: Namibia, Botswana, Egypt, Zimbabwe, and all the countries of Africa. We look at the capital cities of Africa. As you know, the capital city is where the government of a country has its offices, and in South Africa in particular, it's in Pretoria, and in Zimbabwe you'll see it's Harare, and in Namibia it's Windhoek, and every country has their own capital city. And the next one under Africa countries, that we look at surrounding countries on Africa, countries that are around Africa, surrounding countries which are Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho, and Eswatini, also known as Swaziland. The third topic that we will look at under map skills is physical map of Africa. So under the physical map, you look at the location of physical features of the map, things like lakes that are shown on a physical map, and rivers and mountains. As you can see in the picture, you can see the wonderful picture of a physical map right here. And you have to know that there's a difference between a border map and a physical map. The difference is that on a physical map, you'll see the features like mountains and rivers that surround the country or the continent. But a border map is the one that shows different countries in that continent. And right here, you can see how a river looks like. Another subtopic we will look at is that we look at methods of measuring height above levels on a physical map, talking about how to identify the sea on a physical map. As you know, when you are looking at other features on a map, there are maps that actually show names of the seas that are around in oceans. So that's what we look at when it comes to physical maps. Another subtopic we look at is that we look at the features of a physical map, areas, rivers, lakes, and mountains. Maps that show physical features of an area. That's what we look at when we look at features of a physical map. So the last topic that we look at under map skills, we look at images of Africa. Let me just move this a bit. So under images of Africa, one of the things that we look at is that we look at grid allow a person to locate things on a map. If a map has, when you want to see other physical features, they put on the map so that you can be able to know if it's like B3 column row, and they will show you certain things, and you'll be able to see under all of those features that will be on that grid line. So another thing that they look at is that we look at photographs and landscapes in Africa. So you will see photographs and landscapes in Africa, like the famous cities and famous landmarks that are in Africa. You will see things like the Lake Victoria. You'll see things like famous like Table Mountain and all of that. So all of these things are what we look at when it comes to map skills according to the CAPS document. Everything else can be detailed in this presentation under the comments below. I hope you find this presentation helpful, and comment for anything else if you want me to add, and I thank you.